Hi guys, Miss Davis here, back for day 38 of the Anne Frank series. And so we're getting really close to the end. Yeah, close for getting to the end of the book. Um, I have a few thoughts today about the kind of crossovers between coronavirus quarantine and the sort of concluding diary entries of Anne Frank. And so I'm just going to kind of share them as I go because they're so in different worlds and different spots. So I'm just going to jump right into it today and get as far as I can. And I don't think we'll be able to finish the book today, so we're going to get pretty close. All right, pick up where we left off last time. Friday the 23rd of June, 1944. Dear Kitty, nothing special going on here. The English have begun their big attack on Cherbourg. According to Pym and Van Daan, we're sure to be free by October 10th. The Russians are taking part in the campaign and yesterday began their offensive near Vitzbek. It's exactly 3 years to a day since the Germans attacked. We've hardly got any potatoes. From now on, we're going to count them out for each person. Then everyone knows what he's getting. Yours, Anne. So that's a really short little journal entry. There's two thoughts. One, the omnipresent thought of the shortage of food and just how bad it's getting as far as, there being a real lack of things to eat inside the secret annex. So that's scary. And the second thought that I have is about that date. She throws out October 10th. She says, we're sure to be free by October 10th. And so today I got kind of like bad news from my governor. I think it's bad news because I want to go back to school so much that he's canceled school for the rest of the school year this year for sure. And even though it wasn't completely a surprise to me, I'm still bummed because I miss my students something terribly. And I want to go back and see them. And I was having sort of my hopes pinned on May 15th. On the 15th, then he will have a decision by then. And I was sort of pinning all my hopes, and although I know they were far-fetched, on the 15th, and then the 15th did not come and go, and the news is different. And I know how World War II goes, so I know by October 10th, it's not going to be over. And so sometimes it can be particularly heartbreaking when you have your heart set on a certain date and something's going to happen by this particular time, and then it comes and goes and it doesn't happen. So that's what's got me thinking in that particular journal entry. Next one is Tuesday the 27th of June 1944. Dearest Kitty, the mood has changed. Everything's going wonderfully. Cherbourg, Vitebsk, and Slobin fell today. Lots of prisoners and booty. Now the English can land what they want now that they've got a harbor. The whole Cotentin Peninsula, 3 weeks after the English invasion. A tremendous achievement. In the 3 weeks since D-Day, not a day has gone by without rain and gales, both here and in France. But a bit of bad luck didn't prevent the English and Americans from showing their enormous strength. And how? Certainly the wonder weapon is in full swing, but of what consequence are a few squibs apart from a bit of damage in England and pages full of it in the Bush and newspapers? For that matter, when they really realize in Bushland that the Bolsheviks really are on the way, they'll get even more jittery. All German women not in military service are being evacuated to Groningen, Friesland, and Gelderland with their children. Mussert, which I get a little footnote, is the name of the Dutch nationalist social leader. Sorry, I said that wrong. Dutch National Socialist leader. Mussert has announced that if they get as far as here with the invasion, he'll put on a uniform. Does that old fatty want to do some fighting? He could have done so in Russia before now. Some time ago, Finland turned down a peace offer. Now the negotiations have just broken off again. They'll be sorry for it later, the silly folks. How far do you think we'll be on July 27th? Yours, Anne. So again, there's that date, and she's like really hung up on by this particular day. Everything will be different, or how much do you think will be by this day? And I understand why she's doing that. I think more so now than I would have before experiencing like this coronavirus thing and being stuck in the house. Like I've really been doing a lot of the same thing. And she's got some political views and she knows what she thinks, and she's certainly following the story and following the news cycle. So I mean that's good in a lot of ways. It's certainly not like it was before, though, in the beginning of the book. Next journal entry, Friday the 30th of June, 1944. Dear Kitty, bad weather. Or Bad weather at a stretch of the 30th of June isn't that well said. Oh yes, I have a smattering of English already. Just to show you that I can, I'm reading An Ideal Husband with the aid of a dictionary. War going wonderfully. Boborisk, Mogilev, and Orsa have fallen. Lots of prisoners. Everything's all right here, and tempers are improving. The super-optimists are triumphing. Ely has changed her hairstyle. Meep has the week off. That's the latest news. Yours, Anne. I'm just going to keep rolling right on. Thursday, the 6th of July, 1944. Dear Kitty, it strikes fear to my heart when Peter talks of later being a criminal or of gambling. Although it's meant as a joke, of course, it gives me the feeling that he's afraid of his own weakness. Again and again I hear from both Margot and Peter, yes, if I was as strong and plucky as you are, if I always stuck to what I wanted, if I had such persistent energy, yes then. I wonder if it's really a good quality not to let myself be influenced. Is it really good to follow almost entirely my own conscience? Quite honestly, I can't imagine how anyone can say, I'm weak and then remain so. After all, if you know it, why not fight against it? Why not train your character? The answer was, well, because it's much easier not to. This reply rather discouraged me. Easy? Does that what they mean? A lazy, deceitful life is an easy life? Oh no, that can't be true. It mustn't be true. People can so easily be tempted by slackness and by money. I thought for a long time about the best answer to give Peter, how to get him to believe in himself, and above all to try to improve himself. I don't know whether my line of thought is right or not. I've so often thought how lovely it would be to have someone's complete confidence. But now that I'm that far, I realize how difficult it is to think what other person is thinking, and then to find the right answer. More especially because the very idea of easy and money are something entirely foreign and new to me. Peter's beginning to lean on me a bit, and that mustn't happen under any circumstances. A type like Peter finds it difficult to stand on his own feet, but it's even harder to stand on your own feet as a conscious living being. Because if you do, then it's twice as difficult to steer a right path through the sea of problems and still remain constant through it all. I'm just drifting around, have been searching for days, searching for a good argument against the terrible word easy, something to settle it for once and all. How can I make it clear to him that what appears easy and attractive will drag him down into the depths? Depths where there's no comfort to be found, no friends, and no beauty. Depths from which it's almost impossible to raise oneself. We all live, but we don't know the why or the wherefore. We all live with the object of being happy. Our lives are all different and yet the same. We three have been brought up in good circles. We have the chance to learn, the possibility of attaining something. We have all reason to hope for much happiness, but we must earn it for ourselves, and that is never easy. You must work and do good, not be lazy and gamble. If you wish to earn happiness, laziness may appear attractive, but work gives satisfaction. I can't understand people who don't like work. Yet that isn't the case with Peter. He just hasn't got a fixed goal to aim at, and he thinks he's too stupid and too inferior to achieve anything. Poor boy. He's never known what it feels like to make other people happy, and I can't teach him that either. He has no religion, scoffs at Jesus Christ, and swears, using the name of God, and although I'm not orthodox either, it hurts me every time I see how deserted, how scornful, and how poor he really is. People who have a religion should be glad, for not everyone has the gift of believing in heavenly things. You don't necessarily even have to be afraid of punishment after death. Purgatory, hell, and heaven are things that a lot of people can't accept, but still, a religion, it doesn't matter which, keeps a person on the right path. It isn't the fear of God, but the upholding of one's own honor and conscience. How noble and good everyone could be if every evening before falling asleep they were to recall in their minds the events of the whole day and consider exactly what has been good and what has been bad. Then, without realizing it, you try to improve yourself at the start of the course of time. Anyone can do this. It costs nothing, and is certainly very helpful. Whoever doesn't know it must learn and find by experience that a quiet conscience makes one strong. Yours, Anne. Okay, this is probably my favorite journal entry in the whole book. This is my favorite thing. So much of what she has to say here strikes a chord with me. I'm the same sort of person who is always, you know, going against the grain, rubbing people the wrong way a little bit, sticking up for what I believe. I'm the loudmouth who always has to say what I think and, stubbornly refuses to bend. And, if I know what's right and I think that you're not right, then I'm going to tell you so. And sometimes that gets me in trouble. Maybe my tact isn't always as good as it could be, and I could be kinder in some situations when it really would be better. But my heart's always in the right place, and I really agree with what she has to say about easy, about how it's easy, it's deceptively easy to do the the lazy thing, the deceitful thing, the thing that's like, you know, trying to get out of something, but that only leads down dark paths. I've never seen that lead to a good path. Anytime, somebody says to me, something that I know is a bald-faced lie, and I know that it is, like, any of those little excuses that you can see right through or whatever, because I know they just didn't do what they know they should have been doing, that it just rubs me the wrong way. It irks me till heck won't have it, because I know that that's not good for them and that they shouldn't be trying to take that shortcut and take the easy way out. Um, I love this line: laziness may appear attractive, but work gives satisfaction. Like, I really believe in that one. I work hard, like dash it hard. And anybody who knows me knows that I work circles around people because I just can't stop. I just feel the drive and the need to do what I know is the right thing, even when everyone else is like, "What are you doing that for? You don't have to, you know." I know I don't have to. It's the right thing to do, and so I'm doing it. And you should do. It's just kind of the way that I am, and I get a deep, enduring sense of satisfaction out of knowing that I've worked hard and I'm exhausted at the end of the day. I put my head on the pillow at the end of the night, and I sleep well sometimes because I know I've done my best. And you know, uh, I, I don't want to talk about religion and politics, so I won't. But I think that when you have a conscience and you are brave enough and ambitious enough to follow it, there is nothing that can stand in your way. And a lot of times, people's biggest obstacle is only themselves and their shortcuts. So, I'm not a fan of shortcuts, and that's why. Anne Frank says it better than I can. She hits the nail right on the head. If you want to be strong, right here. And it comes from doing the right thing when the wrong thing is easy and sometimes advantageous. It takes a strong conscience to go, yeah, I could cheat my way through that. I don't think I will, because that made you smarter. So that's what I have to say about that. And as far as coronavirus quarantine connection goes, you don't have to learn. You don't have to do stuff. You don't have to read books or exercise or use your mind or your body. But boy, you sure would be a whole lot better off if you did. And wouldn't we all? And the more we can use this, and we can use our bodies to be strong, strong in mind and strong in body, then we can get more work done and do more good work in the world. Do the thing that's important to you with passion and with energy. And Frank's got it. She nailed it, man. All right, so I talked a little bit too long about my connection, and I don't have time to read all of the next journal entries, so I won't. I'll just leave it right there, and I'll pick it up again tomorrow. I'll see you then.